Hello everyone and welcome to Games, Comics and Crafts. In this video I'll be looking at Scarlett issue 3. Okay, so this is the third issue of Scarlett. Yeah, this is still seems to be the weakest of the Energon Universe books. Not because it's inherently bad, and as of last issue there was a few things that was like, well, wouldn't it make more sense to do this and X, Y, Z? This issue has kind of similar problems as well, but it's so narrowly focused on like one character that the world building is not there. And considering we haven't got the G.I. Joe world building kind of stuff going on, this just seems an odd placement for this type of story right now. As I said before, this should be like a special missions book, Origin coming on later on when we see Scarlett doing stuff. But it's just weird. So now the original plan, what I thought is when they showed the um, three buildings that they were diving into, or the three buildings layout in the last issue, and there was a third building, and apparently she had to infiltrate that one. That was going to be the one she dived into. And at the end of the last issue, she dived in the centre. And I assumed it was like a ring of buildings with like a central courtyard. Turns out, apparently, it's got a massive, massive fish tank in it that's 8 stories tall. Now, how the hell they built this thing to withstand that amount of water, the weight of the actual water in it, I've no clue, because surely that was just clapped. And it's not even supported. I mean, this is like a cylinder up the centre. I find it hard to believe that this was just not just smashed to a gazillion pieces. And the other thing is it seems to be quite far away from the walls on the outside. So she goes in. It's full of fish. There's a shark in there. She basically bops the shark, and the shark disappears. She finds this access hatch, which apparently is there, and then swims through it, comes out. So there's an airlock. So they obviously this is attached to the wall somewhere, although we didn't see that in the original depiction. And obviously, theoretically, you'd think if you're going to have an airlock, why would you put it in random floors? If you've got one airlock, surely you'd know exactly where the airlock was. And surely you'd think you'd alarm it, because if people are going to dive in and stuff like that, you want to know when people will use the airlock to open it up. But there's obviously other thing is there's no sign of a two-door airlock. We see one door. Um, and the other thing being is that tank plays no extra part at all now for the rest of the story. So there's no reason to have an 8-story tall water tank in the middle, apart from, oh, wouldn't it be really cool to put an 8? Yeah, it just seems an odd choice and completely pointless. Makes no sense. Um, so she's basically kills some guys, goes to the control room, blaps them as well, so they can stop feeding information back to other people. And she's kind of like, so, oh, I hope this is a lot of them. And unfortunately, it's not. There's more people kind of showing up. She goes on with the offensive with this katana. She gets stabbed, and thankfully it tells us stab on the actual sound effect to let us know she's actually been stabbed. Um, I would have done a little box around it, so rather than the effect, but there you go, that's fine. Again, this kind of little combat thing is quite cool. I like this. This is quite nice. But she's injured. She seems to get away with being injured quite, because I think she was injured quite a lot last time, and she's kind of still just basically shrugs it off. And now she gets stabbed in the side, probably fall over after about 5 minutes. Um, anyway, Storm Shadow apparently and the lass that she's friends with are in another building, and she's supposed to be the distraction. Obviously, there's a lot going on here. This is one of the unforgivable things about this. This is the storyline they decided to introduce Storm Shadow with. Storm Shadow's not with her. Storm Shadow's with the other lass, and the other lass is basically just going, "Oh, well, your friend has done this." It's like, right, you're supposed to be friends with her first of all. Number one, I know you're probably keeping it secret that you are, but I don't know why you're kind of belittling her to basically say she's crap. But Storm Shadow does nothing. It's such a waste of Storm Shadow. There should be more Storm Shadow, and like we were expecting Snake Eyes, as it happened. Instead, it's gone. Anyway, she goes in there, sets this, basically gets his grenades up. She kind of has a crack at this guy and kind of, oh, it's like a bit like a boss battle and all this kind of stuff. Um, and she manages to kill him. Blows his stuff up that she was supposed to blow up. The central security's down. Which again is weird because the security is down. They're already in there though, so why would you blow it up halfway through the infiltration? Surely you blow it up and then the infiltration comes in. Um, they do their thing, happily to kind of tidy people up. She goes up again, up the side of the fish tank, which again, I don't get. Don't understand what's there. She nips over to the other building and makes her way down that as well. Smashes through the window. Meets up with a friend. Still bleeding, of course, from the side. And a kind of friend goes, "Oh, oh, you're stubborn. You come and help me out," kind of thing. You didn't really need to. And then apparently, Cobra have turned up on the actual top of the building, which is obviously is not anything to do with this group. Um, I don't get it. The entire issue just seems to be a kind of like a filler again, because they're running around doing stuff that doesn't seem to affect the main storyline. And the idea you're blowing up security, and they've already done the thing, and then there's a fish tank there for the sake of being a fish tank there, and it's kind of, oh, this would be really cool James Bond moment when there's a fish tank, but then it doesn't do it. I know it's just weird. And obviously now we've got Cobra kind of coming in. At least we've got some kind of tie-in with the original stuff. But all in all, yeah, it does its own thing. It's just there's some very, very leaps in logic in this one, as there were in the previous issues, where she had the blade in a Stanley knife blade in the side of her, so she could cut bonds, rather than kind of like, some cool high tech nano tool you think that a super spy would be using, rather than something you could pick up from from the DIY store. It just seems really strange. Artwork's nice. I don't know if they change artist, because she doesn't look quite as angular as she did in the first issues. But yeah, I like the artwork. It's good. Um, we've got Storm Shadow versus her in the next issue. Obviously, we've got issue five issues of that one. Destro Force coming up, which I think I should have coming this week. Transformers 12 is coming on, and we've just heard that Daniel Warren Johnson apparently is quitting writing Transformers after issue 24. So we've got a whole another year's worth of Daniel Warren Johnson, which is good news. At least we've got that. So hopefully now they can find someone that can fulfill it. I mean, it's not impossible to find someone decent to write Transformers, because we were worried about someone drawing Transformers. I think this new guy fills in quite nicely. But I just hope they don't go off like, go, hey, we're doing this now, and it's a whole new wild angle that's going to go this, and it's all going to be about this instead, and yeah, and they lose that momentum of the previous 20 issues, because I think this is really good. Don't do a Tom King Batman promising a wedding and not promising and then actually happening after 75 issues. Don't do 24 issues and then just go completely off bat and go, oh, that's now a story about Beachcomber going around the desert. Um, anyway, so yeah, not bad, not great. It's okay. It's a good in its own right, but I really would like to touch much better on the kind of the wider aspects of the world, and bring a lot of that and a lot of the more of Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes and that kind of stuff in as well. It just seems a bit odd, but maybe 4 or 5 will, maybe 4 and 5 will kind of branch out a little bit, and we'll get a little bit more. I mean, we've had the infiltration, we've had the main mission, and it's already over within 3 issues. So maybe 4 and 5 will kind of bring that a little bit out further. So we'll see. Anyway, that's pretty much all I can say with this one at the minute. So I will stop my rambling, and hopefully I will see you on another video very, very soon. Thanks very much. Bye bye.